All right, I am starting a new series. And as you can see, it's going to be called 49ers Week in Review. I know that not all of you have a chance to tune in every single day and watch every single minute. Those of you who do, thank you. But for those of you who need that update to come in one bigger package every once in a while, why don't we say Monday or maybe even Sunday at sometimes will be our 49ers Week in Review. You can always look for this to sum up what's happened in very concise form and won't waste too much of your time over the course of the past 7 days. So, are you Brock Purdy? That's the first segment of 49ers Week in Review. Brock Purdy held a football camp yesterday at Levi Stadium. Have a listen to this. It is heartwarming.
Let's see if you can beat me. Ready? Go. Come on, beat me, beat me, beat me, beat me. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Flip, run. There you go. Good job, dude.
Are you Brock Purdy?
Yeah, man.
You're my favorite.
Hey, I'm going to throw one real quick. Yeah. Ready? Down, Sut. There you go. Sut. See if you can catch it. Purdy jersey. Yes, sir. Who wants to try to chase me? Here we go.
I got you.
Good job, good job. Thanks for coming, guys. Appreciate it, appreciate it. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it.
Looks like the kids at the camp did a better job than the Detroit Lions catching Brock Purdy in that scramble situation. Anyway, today, as I speak, April 15th is the first day of the 49ers voluntary offseason program. Kyle Shanahan has been looking forward to this. It means Brock Purdy can be back in the building a little bit more often. And obviously the day before that, April 14th, Brock Purdy was in the building to host his football camp. He's going to have one more of those in June in Ames, Iowa, at Iowa State. That's where Purdy went to college. So the camp tour for the quarterback has begun. And meanwhile, we're approaching the time 2 years ago when Brock Purdy was drafted. The NFL draft will mark an inflection point for Brandon Aiyuk. Another inflection point might have come today when we saw Brandon Aiyuk post this on Instagram. I mentioned that the 49ers have reconvened for voluntary workouts, day one of voluntary workouts. Brandon Aiyuk acknowledged day one, implying that he's on his way to day one on Instagram, which is a good sign for the 49ers. We had quite a bit of Brandon Aiyuk drama over the course of the past week that was mainly fabricated by outside sources. So if you're one of those people that doesn't pay attention on a granular day-to-day, minute-by-minute basis, you probably saved some of your sanity. But we had several people online make up that Brandon Aiyuk had requested a trade from the 49ers simply because this is about the time of the year 2 years ago that Deebo Samuel requested a trade ahead of the draft, which is an inflection point because if a trade is going to happen, well, the 49ers would want to get draft picks they can use in return for their star receivers. So you had people guess that he had requested a trade. They put it out there, and it got so bad that Brandon Aiyuk's agent, Ryan Williams, actually had to tell one of these people that had made up the story to get better sources on Twitter. So that's what's happened with Brandon Aiyuk over the past several days. I do believe that in that time frame is when he might have unfollowed the 49ers on Instagram. Nobody said that this is going to be an easy negotiation, but it's obviously a negotiation that's in progress. And obviously the dots that we can connect right now point to the 49ers and Brandon Aiyuk working to get something done. And he's said that he wants professionals on both sides to get something done. And so he's openly expressed his desire to sign a new agreement with the 49ers. We'll just see when that happens. When I do a piece like this, for context, I have to mention that it's April 15th. So we're still about 5 months away from the time that Nick Bosa signed last season. Still a whole heck of a lot of time, and I get it. The vacuum will create weird rumors and weird discussions on social media. More happened this week. The Rosengarten workout. This is John Lynch, 49ers general manager, and their offensive line coach, Chris Furster, wearing Washington Huskies gear. They're talking to new Washington head coach Jed Fish in Seattle. The Washington Huskies had a spring practice this weekend. Lynch and Furster were both there, and then Roger Rosengarten, who is an offensive lineman for the Huskies, was lacing him up, getting ready to work out after, and John Lynch was still standing around. So the 49ers, by Matt Barrow's report, were taking a look and doing research into multiple Huskies players, but we can deduce that they were working out Roger Rosengarten, who is the fastest offensive lineman in this NFL draft class. I think a 4.8, 4.9 40 for Roger Rosengarten. Not quite as fast as Joe Staley, who ran a 4.6, 4.7 way back in 2007. But Joe Staley is actually training Roger Rosengarten. And that's just one of the many intriguing connections, which is going to put Rosengarten on many mock drafts. I think Mel Kiper Jr. has already put the offensive tackle on his. Other connections are that Rosengarten went to Valor Christian High School in the Denver area. That's Christian McCaffrey's high school, and he was teammates with Christian's younger brothers, Luke McCaffrey and Dylan McCaffrey. Luke is a 49ers potential target as a wide receiver in this draft. On top of that, Ed McCaffrey, the dad of all the McCaffreys, was the coach for the final 2 seasons of Roger Rosengarten's high school career. Ed McCaffrey took the playbook from the Denver Broncos and I guess by extension the San Francisco 49ers that he learned under Mike Shanahan and ran all those outside zone schemes at Valor Christian. So we know that Roger Rosengarten with his speed could be a really good fit into a Kyle Shanahan zone scheme, and the 49ers might have been taking a look at him this past weekend. He also didn't give up a single sack this past year. Washington, in fact, moved Rosengarten to right tackle to protect the blind side of the lefty quarterback, Michael Penix Jr. So 49ers, if they're going to be investing in an offensive lineman, look out for this. Why don't we take a look at the 49ers updated draft list? These are the pre-draft visits on this show. You could take a look at the most recent roster. Actually, that's the wrong one. That's 2023. Let me get 2024 ready for you guys. Didn't think that we'd be able to do this first show without a hiccup. So there's that hiccup. Now we have the 2024 roster. And here is the 49ers updated pre-draft visit list. I've mentioned all these guys before, but the recent additions of the linebacker Tatum Bethune out of Florida State, really good in coverage. Only a 38 passer rating allowed into his coverage. The tight end Eric All from Iowa, and DeCamerion Richardson, cornerback, fast cornerback, 6'2", 6'2", 4.3 speed 40, 6'2" as in height, 4.3 speed. Richardson, the cornerback out of Mississippi State. These are all positions that the 49ers, I think, very obviously are interested in: linebacker, tight end, and cornerback. And finally, I have a salary cap update for you. We got some contract information in this week. We got it in the cornerback room for Rock Ya-Sin. His cap hit $1.15 million, getting paid a little bit less than Isaac Yiadom, who's at $1.9 million. So I think Isaac Yiadom is the favorite to be cornerback number 3 so far for the 49ers. And Eric Saubert, the tight end, close to minimum. They used the veteran salary benefit for Eric Saubert, but they did give him $400,000 in guaranteed money. So the cap hit is a little bit over $1 million. 49ers on the 53-man cap. This is my projection. I have about $26 million in space. So don't let anybody tell you they don't have space to pay Brandon Aiyuk. They do have space. And on the offseason work list, they've got about $6.5 million in space, because in the offseason, they don't have the Eric Armstead money free yet. That's not going to be free until June 2nd, a month and a half from now. And also in the offseason, the top 51 contracts count against the cap. So the accounting is different than in the season. So 2 different numbers, both under the cap for the 49ers. And if they are able to re-sign Brandon Aiyuk, I do project they can save about $6 million in space in the short term. They can actually lower his 2024 cap hit from $14 million to about $8 million. So that is the 49ers week in review. Wanted to make it nice, short, and sweet so we can go through some of the stuff that's happened. 49ers are back out at work. Next press conference is April 22nd, so a week from today. Of course, I will be there at Levi Stadium. That is the pre-draft press conference. Then the draft is going to start not this Thursday, but the next Thursday. So we're about a week and a half away from the NFL draft. After the draft, it's going to be the rookie mini camp. That's going to be 2 weeks after that, and then OTAs. So kind of a lull in the offseason right now, unless you're big into all the mock drafts. And I mean, speaking of those, I guess that's part of my update over the course of the past week. If I'm doing a week in review, I did put out my first 49ers mock draft, and I did trade up in my first 49ers mock draft. You can take a look at it here up on The Athletic. That is Roger Rosengarten's teammate, by the way, the left tackle for Washington, Troy Fautanu. 49ers probably would have to trade up for him, not for Roger Rosengarten. Right now, it's a whole lot of speculation, though, around the NFL. Can't wait until these weekend reviews have some more substantive news. Anyway, thanks for joining. We'll talk to you all soon.